Right now at 6, police respond to a video posted on social media of an officer kicking someone on the ground at Houska Park. And first-time voters are preparing to hit the polls for their first election. Political experts say young adults are participating more frequently in elections.
You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 6.
Good evening, everyone, and thanks for joining us for News 8 Now at 6. I'm Ken Kozarowski. Amy is off tonight. La Crosse police say an officer's use of force at a Houska Park incident last month was justified. Police say an officer was responding to a welfare check at Houska Park. And in a police report, that officer says he was flagged by a Parks Department employee who said an individual in the park was calling him slurs. From there, things escalated. News 8 Now's Emily Haugen joins us now with what happened at the park and how La Crosse officers train for situations like these.
Ken, we received a tip accusing La Crosse police officers of excessive use of force. After reviewing body cam video and police reports, we learned that's only part of the story. We want to warn you this video does involve use of force, which may be disturbing to some viewers. Policing is an ever-evolving practice.
And you never know what type of a call you're going to go on, so you need to be alert. You need to be aware of your surroundings. You need to constantly be looking at the safety.
At Houska Park in early October, Officer Daniel Howe was put to the test.
I do. Can I see your ID, please?
He arrived on scene alone.
Can I see your ID? Failure to identify will result in an obstructing charge.
The individual chose not to want to comply, and sometimes that does happen, even with the, best intentions and best efforts of our staff members.
The man refused to put his arms behind his back and began to physically struggle with Officer Howe. Howe took his hands off the man and ordered him to the ground.
Get on the ground now!
When the man refused that order, Officer Howe forced him to the ground.
He did reach and grab for the officer's taser, which ends up being a whole nother level of safety for the officer, for the individual, for the other individuals and community members that are in the immediate area.
Howe struck him in the shoulders with his knee. Captain Avery Schott says Officer Howe's use of force was appropriate. Officer Howe was surrounded by a crowd and says he worked to de-escalate.
Our policy is about only using the force necessary to gain that compliance.
Officers joined to back up Howe, but preparing for situations like this takes time.
Conversations. There is practice. There are videos. There is reading over our policies and our procedures.
Taking time to address incidents and improve.
We're always asking, how do we get better? And looking at every situation, because we do want to be leaders in the community.
Police say that Officer Howe's use of force followed procedure and was cleared. They arrested the suspect, Edison Quesada Varela. He was charged with disorderly conduct, resisting, and criminal damage to property. He has since been released from jail. Ken?
All right, thanks very much, Emily. And last year, just over 1% of La Crosse Police Department interactions involved the use of force. That percentage lines up with the last 3 years. If you'd like to learn more about the department's use of force policy, we've got that information available online. We'll post a link to that and the reports as well on news8000.com.
Well, definitely a chilly start to the new work week today. Highs only in the upper 30s to the north and west, 42 here in La Crosse. Upper 40s to around 50 degrees down towards Boscobel. Of course, darkness with that time change over the weekend. The sun set an hour earlier, but of course, the flip side, we get it in the morning, so it wasn't quite as dark for a lot of you early risers this morning, which is always a good thing to get you going, especially on a Monday, especially after Packers loss, right? We've got some high and mid-level clouds scattered about, some snow showers trying to reach the ground over northern Minnesota, but our neck of the woods will stay dry. Current temperatures in the 30s, some low 40s down towards the Wisconsin River, and I'm hoping for partly cloudy skies later tonight and into early tomorrow morning, because we have a total lunar eclipse from 4:17 to 5:42. I'll detail that with my main weather a little bit later. 34 for the low. Buckle up this week. A quick tease of what's to come temperature-wise. We're going to warm to the mid-60s on Thursday, but watch what happens Thursday into Friday. We drop about 30 degrees with the passage of a very strong cold front. It looks like those 30s may stick around. All the details of my 8-day forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks very much, Bill. Well, tomorrow is the big day, and the Wisconsin Elections Commission is reminding voters of what they need to be prepared for on Election Day. As usual, voters need to bring a photo ID and be prepared to wait in long lines. This year's election looks a little different in Wisconsin. New court rulings on ballot spoiling may have voters curious of what's changed. Well, the La Crosse County Clerk says as long as you haven't officially cast your ballot, you are in the clear.
If you do go to the polls and you make a mistake on your ballot, just let a poll worker know. You get up to 3 ballots on your election day, so if you make a mistake on the first one, we'll spoil it. We'll issue you a second ballot. That happens up until your 3rd ballot. Once you get your 3rd ballot, then that's the ballot that's going to go through the machine. So if you make mistakes, ask questions of the poll workers. They're there to help you.
All polls in Wisconsin will be open starting tomorrow morning at 7, closing at 8 p.m. If you get a phone call today or tomorrow saying polls are closed tomorrow, that is not true. Dankmeyer also says people are reporting door knockers telling them their polling place has moved, which is likely not true. If you need to find your polling place, we have information posted on news8000.com. If you need a ride to your polling place, the La Crosse's MTU has you covered. The MTU is offering free bus rides tomorrow, a free day, of course, in honor of Election Day, but everyone is welcome to ride whether they are voting or not. The polls open in less than 24 hours. Nationwide, political experts say one group of voters may be key to winning office. News 8 Now's Dua Israr spoke to University of Wisconsin La Crosse students who may be the deciding factor in this election. Dua?
Ken, according to the U.S. Census, there are more than 8 million new eligible voters in this election. 1.8 million of them are right here in the Midwest. The 26th Amendment grants everyone 18 and older the right to vote.
So we have that right for a reason, and it's important to share, your opinion no matter what side it is.
Historically, that right hasn't always been exercised.
Young people themselves don't get involved in the political process as much as possible.
According to the U.S. Census Bureau, voter turnout among 18 to 29-year-olds for the 2014 midterm election was 20%.
In recent years, things have changed somewhat.
In 2018, voter turnout for that age group jumped to 36%. Political analyst Joe Heim says encouragement and politically active campuses are part of the reason young voter turnout continues to increase.
I think it has to do with student government and generally supportive administration that encourages people to get out and vote.
UWL student and first-time voter Maddie Burbach agrees.
It was exciting because it was like I've gotten to hear so much about voting from my parents and my friends that are older, and it was fun to be a part of the process and know I'm making a difference.
Heim says elected officials are also focused on recruiting young voters.
People in elected offices pay attention to who votes.
Last week, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders made campaign stops on 4 Wisconsin college campuses.
I just hope that we can engage them and get them out to vote.
UWL student Reed Anderson says he hopes young voters will head to the ballot and vote for representation.
The demographics in Congress and Senate, it's mostly 65 and up. And if we want people who are more like us and have our beliefs, then we absolutely need to vote for those people.
Heim says with the help of young voters, the upcoming November midterms could break records.
We could conceivably have record turnout.
Heim says one of the reasons young people will vote tomorrow in record numbers is because of social issues, including abortion.
Definitely could be a factor. Thanks a lot, Dua. Heim says an increase in voting is a sign people also have trust in the electoral process. Still ahead tonight at 6, a learning opportunity for young athletes. Mayo is hosting their 3rd annual Youth Sports Symposium to talk about healthy ways to improve performance. And a blanket drive at Gunderson aims to help people keep warm as those temperatures drop lower.
I was in law enforcement for over 40 years, and I can't imagine a better attorney general than Josh Kaul. He's a real prosecutor who's locked up murderers, serial rapists, the really dangerous guys you want off the street, and kept them behind bars. And he'll work with anyone, Republican or Democrat, to get it done. Look, there's more we have to do, but the only one I'd want leading the fight against crime is our Attorney General, Josh Kaul.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get a $500 cash allowance on all 2022 Silverado pickups with a 2.7-liter engine. Plus, current Chevy owners can get an additional $2,500 cash allowance. Plus, unlock your code to claim $500 Chevy CyberCash.
Career politician Steve Doyle loves touting his record. Let's review it. When La Crosse County residents needed tax relief, Doyle voted no. When La Crosse County needed road repair funding, Doyle voted no. When La Crosse County parents wanted more support for schools and input on their kids' education, Doyle voted no. When La Cross County needed violent criminals locked up? Doyle voted no. Steve Doyle's real record? Rising costs, rising crime, abandoning us when we needed him most.
Under Tony Evers and Joe Biden, it's been bad, but it's gonna get much worse because winter is coming. That's right. Reports are saying natural gas heating bills are going up by 28%. Inflation has already caused pain at the pump, grocery checkout, on rent. But this fall, there's still time to stop the winter pain by voting no on Tony Evers before he makes it even worse, if that's possible.
His job was to serve and protect. Instead, reports say Dave Estenson assaulted and preyed on girls for years. One report of sexually assaulting a teenager. Multiple reports of Estenson trying to coerce girls into sexual favors to avoid citations. And Estenson wants to ban all abortions, forcing victims of rape and incest to carry their predator's child. Sexual predators belong behind bars, not in the state Senate.
Hi, I'm Dave Estenson. They told me taking on a big spending politician would be tough. But I used to ride bulls for a living, so I got this. I've also been a law enforcement officer, small business owner, and truck driver. Now, I'm running for state senate to back the badge, support small businesses, and fix our roads. So if the special interests think they can buck me from those principles, they'd be good to remember. This ain't my first rodeo.
For the third year, Mayo Clinic Health System is bringing coaches, parents, and athletes together for a youth sports symposium. The free event aims to educate everyone about sports medicine and trying to reduce injury and increase performance. Symposium leaders are choosing a slightly different focus this year.
Last year we focused a lot on injury prevention. This year will be a little bit more on nutrition, recovery, body image, and then some injuries that can go along with undereating.
Now again, the event is free. A movement seminar for young athletes and parents starts at 7:30 in the morning at UWL's Student Union. The symposium starts right after that. We'll post more information on news8000.com. As the temperatures drop, a local health organization hopes to make sure everyone in the community can keep themselves warm. Gunderson Health System is kicking off its annual Wrapping the Community in Warmth blanket drive today. The system's Department of Nursing is asking the community to donate newly bought or handmade blankets to Gunderson Clinic locations. From there, dozens of area partners like the Salvation Army and La Crosse County Human Services can give them to those in need. Organizers say the warmth and sense of security a blanket provides is a feeling everyone in the community should be able to have this time of year.
By getting these blankets, we're able to donate to more than 20 agencies around the tri-state region so that we can offer just a little bit of those same feelings to those who maybe need it a little bit more than we do.
Buehler says they usually receive 700 donated blankets each year that they do this. The drive will run through Friday, December 2nd, and if you're interested in donating, we will have the location of their drop boxes on news8000.com. Still to come, a warning for La Crosse trail users. A segment is getting closed off for some maintenance.
And I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Grawl. You're going to want to stick around. I've got sunset pictures for you. I've got a total lunar eclipse. I've got temperatures in the 60s. I've got thunderstorms. I've got snow flurries. What else did I miss? You're going to have to stick around. We'll be right back.
The lessons I learned growing up in Brownsville still ring true today. Work hard, take responsibility, and do your best. But that's not happening with Tony Evers. Evers released Wisconsin's worst criminals, killed jobs, paid people not to work, and he let so much more go up in flames. I'm Tim Michels. It's time to stop the madness. As governor, I'll take the values I learned here and put them to work for Wisconsin.
Tim Michels for governor.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we've helped hunters gear up for deer season for over 67 years. So when it's time to head out on your upcoming hunt, we have what you need, all at fair and honest prices. Like 10 packs of Grabber hand warmers, just $5.99. 2 packs of men's Realtree hunting socks, only $8.99. While you're in for hunting gear, save $100 on this DeWalt 80-gallon air compressor. And this 50-foot extension cord is only $44.99.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. You've heard what women say about working at Tim Michels' company, that they were groped.
A male superior groped the crotch and inner thigh of a female employee.
and pressured to have sex with their bosses. And now we know more. According to an attorney involved in the case, when the only woman on a Michaels Road crew was sexually harassed on the job, the company did not take it seriously. From the top down. From the top down. If that's how Tim Michaels runs his company, how do you think he'd run the state?
I really love working with all the staff here at Bright Star. The office staff is amazing, and the other caregivers are amazing as well. Well, I am a student, so I do have classes in the morning. Bright Star makes it really easy for students with flexibility and giving me the ability to do short shifts in between classes before and after classes. I love working with clients. It makes me feel like I'm making a big difference in their lives, even with small daily tasks. I would recommend working at Bright Star. It's a really great environment, and I love it as a place to work.
I was in law enforcement for over 40 years, and I can't imagine a better attorney general than Josh Call. He's a real prosecutor who's locked up murderers, serial rapists, the really dangerous guys you want off the street, and kept them behind bars. And he'll work with anyone, Republican or Democrat, to get it done. Look, there's more we have to do, but the only one I'd want leading the fight against crime is our Attorney General, Josh Call.
Expect more from News 8 Now. Thanks for watching.
Well, a heads up for some La Crosse County hikers. The northern segment of the Grand Crossing Trail from River Valley Drive to the south side of the pedestrian bridge going to be closed beginning tomorrow. Crews there are doing some shoreline maintenance, but the trail is expected to reopen on November 15th. All right, before the break, quite a tease from Chief Meteorologist Bill Grahl. A lot going on in the world of weather, so let's go to him with the latest.
Yeah, and some of it's astronomical, but first of all, beautiful time lapse this evening. We saw just enough clearing to let the sun peek through, and look what that did for our colors. Of course, the sun set earlier because of the time change over the weekend, about 4:45, but boy, just stunning colors earlier. Through City Cam 8 here in downtown La Crosse. Not to be outdone though, Randy and Tracy up in Alma, look at those gorgeous colors. Not only the oranges and yellows, but some pinks and lavenders as well. And then between Arcadia and Waumundy, thanks to Stacy for this beautiful shot as well. Love the lone tree in the middle of the shot there as well. So a lot of you sharing some gorgeous pictures on my Facebook page. You can check it out or share yours on there as well. Also, we've got a total lunar eclipse early tomorrow morning, so you're gonna have to get up very early, either that or stay up most of the night, because the partial eclipse begins after 3, about 50% covered with the Earth's shadow at 3:44. Totality from 4:17 to 5:42 with the greatest eclipse just before 5 a.m. and then still kind of a half shadow at 6:14. But that moon will look kind of copperish or orangish or reddish during the total eclipse. And you might want to check this one out if you're interested, because the next one not viewable in our area for about 3 years. I am expecting Mother Nature to cooperate, hopefully, as we're mainly cloudy right now, but I'm expecting partly cloudy conditions overnight. Chilly start to the week. 42 is the high, average is 50. And boy, what a soaking rain on Friday and Saturday, as advertised. 1.57 inches puts us 1.11 inches above average for the month, but still about 5.5 inches short of average for the year. But boy, that's a nice dent in the drought. Some of you saw 2 to 3 inches plus of rainfall south and east of La Crosse. 39 degrees, again, a mostly cloudy sky, feels like 33. The Mississippi rising from that rain, 5.29 feet. So's the Chippewa, 760.5. 37 degrees for you folks in Eau Claire with a wind chill of 33. So we've got 30s to the north, 40s, some 50s farther south, but most of our area on the chilly side, mid to upper 30s, still a 42 in Boscobel. Winds out of the northeast at about 5 to 10. And again, mostly cloudy currently, but I am expecting some partial clearing to try to move in from the south and west here. Also, some warmer air starts to lift into the area midweek. You'll see that on the 8-day forecast. So partial clearing overnight, so some good news to check out the lunar eclipse. We'll probably have some passing clouds, but I do think we'll be able to see it. Tomorrow, most of the day dry, slight chance of showers late in the day into tomorrow evening, north and west. And then we all have a chance for kind of some scattered showers, isolated thunders overnight. And then Wednesday, more clouds and sun, mainly dry, maybe a spotty shower, better chances of rain on Thursday. Zone forecast for tomorrow, a little bit warmer. Lower to middle 60s will be common all across the region, which is fairly close to average, even a little bit above average, and mainly dry conditions. Again, that small chance for a shower late in the day to the north and west. So for tonight, partly cloudy, seasonably chilly, 34. Again, that full moon that will be totally eclipsed early tomorrow morning. 54 degrees, no excuses not to get out and vote. Mix of sun and clouds, dry for most. That rain chance not until late in the day, mainly north and west. Scattered showers overnight, small chance for shower Wednesday, but look at those temperatures. Mid-60s on Wednesday and Thursday. Then a powerful cold front comes through, brings a chance of scattered showers, maybe some thunderstorms as well. A lot of wind, and look at what it does to our temperature. We drop 30 degrees for Veterans Day. Highs only in the mid-30s, maybe some snow flurries, and then staying cold right through the weekend. Highs only in the low to mid-30s, maybe even some upper 20s in spots. And look at those overnight lows, teens and 20s. So by far, the strongest shot of cold air we've seen so far this season is on the way.
Absolutely. All right, thanks, Bill.
Okay.
After the break, the Packers are dealt another huge blow to their defense, while Minnesota seemed to have struck gold at the trade deadline. Cade's in next with sports.
Whether it's windows or doors, siding or sunrooms, baths or kitchens, we've got you covered with our on-staff installers, plumbers, and electricians. Don't lose sleep trying to coordinate it all yourself. We're here to take the pain out of your next remodel. Call or visit today.
He pushed tax loopholes benefiting himself. Send him back, and he'll make things worse. Ron Johnson would let Wisconsin ban abortion, even in cases of rape, and said if you don't like it, you can move. He voted to raise the retirement age and wants to end guaranteed spending on the Social Security you earned.
Social Security is a legal Ponzi scheme, but that's exactly what it is.
Ron Johnson, still making it harder on us. SMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning has been providing year-round comfort to thousands of area homes for over 80 years.
But to us, it's more than just heating and cooling. It's about making sure our customer is comfortable every step of the way.
From the people that answer the phones to the technicians that come to your door, you can trust that we'll get the job done right the first time.
That's our goal, whether it's a new installation or a service call, is to make sure you're comfortable.
Turn to the experts, Carrier and Schneider Heating and Air Conditioning.
Aren't you tired of the division and the anger? I know I sure am. Our country faces enormous challenges. I promise I'll do everything I can to help make things better, and I'll always tell you the truth. What continues to give me hope are the kind and decent people I meet all over Wisconsin. People who love America and are willing to work hard to unify and heal it. Please join us. I'm Ron Johnson, I approve this message, and I'm asking for your vote.
I see your hard work, everything you do to try to make it, but people continue to be left behind. I'm running for Senate to put more money in your pocket. Ron Johnson's had 12 years to make things better, but costs are still rising, and all he's managed to do is write a tax cut for himself. I believe better is possible. I believe hard work can pay off, and I'll never stop fighting until it does. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
Covering all of the exciting action from your community, here's News 8 Now Sports.
Well, if yesterday's 15-9 loss to the Lions wasn't bad enough, the Packers got news today that linebacker Rashawn Gary is done for the season after tearing his ACL in yesterday's game. Now, during the game, 8 players either couldn't finish the game or missed parts of the game due to injury, including both rookie wideouts Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs. Aaron Jones was in a walking boot after the game, but the Packers hope to have him ready for next week. We'll know more about the injury report later this week, but for now, Coach LaFleur says the defense is going to have to figure out a way to replace Gary, and it's not an easy thing to do.
The effort that he brings on a daily basis is definitely going to be missed, and you know, the other guys around on that defense and on our team are going to have to pick it up for him because it's hard to replace a guy like that. This guy he battles. I mean, you guys all see it. So he's an ultimate competitor.
All right, and it doesn't get any easier for Green Bay. They'll host the 6-2 Dallas Cowboys Sunday afternoon, and Mike McCarthy's return to Lambeau Field, and Aaron Rodgers and the entire offensive line is going to have to step it up as the Cowboys lead the league in sacks and have a top 5 defense. For the Vikings, they got a ton of help from their new tight end TJ Hawkinson during yesterday's 20-17 comeback win over the Commanders. He hasn't even been on the team for a week, yet he had 9 receptions for 70 yards and was a huge crutch for Kirk Cousins when needed. He adds a new layer to the passing attack for the Vikings offense, which also helped open up Justin Jefferson, who scored his first touchdown since week 1. It's only been one game, but it's safe to say that Hawkinson has already earned some respect in the locker room.
Can't say enough about what TJ Hawkinson did this week to learn this system. It took me about 4 months to learn it. He did it in like 4 days, so he's kind of making me look bad.
I really did. I tried my hardest this week was to learn everything. You know, that's kind of the standard I put on myself is to, you know, be a guy that if they needed me, I would at least know what I was doing.
All right, but next week the Vikings have their biggest test of the season thus far, taking on the 6-2 Bills in Buffalo. Now, Buffalo is coming off of a loss to the New York Jets, so we'll see if the Vikings can find some sort of advantage in the game film. And it's a big night in the NBA. All 30 NBA teams are in action, and the Bucks are looking to start their season with their 10th straight win. They're on the road taking on the Atlanta Hawks, and the Timberwolves, they're at home taking on the New York Knicks. I'll have updates from both of these games later tonight. We'll be right back.
Radical Tim Michaels is extremely divisive.
I don't care who I offend.
And at his company, the culture comes from the top. Multiple court filings say women were sexually assaulted, harassed, and pressured to have sex with their bosses.
If she refused demands for sex, she would be blackballed from working on a pipeline job.
Higher-ups dismissed the women as liars and fired those who spoke out.
I don't care who I offend.
That's how Tim Michaels runs his company. Don't let him run our state.
This is fentanyl, so dangerous that one pill kills. They make it in China, smuggle it through Mexico. Across our border that Joe Biden surrendered to cartels and gangs. Brad Pfaff backs Biden's open border agenda 100%. Fentanyl killed 1,200 people last year in Wisconsin alone. Now every town is a border town. Pfaff won't stop the drugs, so we have to stop Brad Pfaff.
I'm Derek Van Orden, and I approve this message.
We have a pretty big choice to make in this election, and it's about whether women get to keep their right to choose. I'm pro-choice. Always have been, always will be. Derek Van Orden wants to ban abortion, with no exceptions for rape, incest, or the life of the mother. He'll do anything to take away your right to choose. I'll do anything to protect it. That's the choice in this election. And now, it's up to you. I'm Brad Pfaff, and I approve this message.
I'm Steve Doyle. Public safety has always been my priority. I've been endorsed by the Wisconsin Professional Police Association, the state's largest law enforcement organization. These are the men and women who put their lives on the line every day to keep us safe. They've had our backs, and I've had theirs. I don't just talk about public safety. I have a record of supporting our officers, cracking down on dangerous criminals, and fighting to keep our community safe. That's why I'm the candidate of law enforcement.
We got partly cloudy skies overnight, seasonably chilly. Again, that total lunar eclipse from 4:17 to 5:42, partial eclipse 3:44 to 6:14. So set your alarms if you want to see that. 54 tomorrow, get out and vote. 60s midweek, 30s by Friday.
All right, thanks for watching tonight at 6.